to Devoxx Belgium. I have a camera and a microphone. Let's have a talk with some of the speakers and the guests.
I'm Johan Vos, and why am I at Devoxx? Well, I'm part of the steering committee, so I have to be here anyhow. But I'm also interested in Java in general and in innovation in Java in particular, and then Devoxx is the place to be.
And you have a very long history in Java?
Actually, me and Java, we go back until from 1995 or so, when Java was created, and it did not exist on Linux. And I was a big Linux fan, and I wanted to use Java for my PhD, but because there was no Java on Linux, we decided with a group of people, the Blackdown team, to port Java to Linux, and that's how I got started with Java.
You just fixed it. It was not there, and
well, it wasn't there. It wasn't easy to fix, but it was, I believe, the right thing to do, even though many people did not believe in it. At that time, Sun Microsystems was definitely not interested in Java on Linux, but history turned out to agree with us.
Was pretty critical.
Right.
So you say it was for your PhD, so you have been doing Java since you were still in school. Is that a bit frightening, or is that just relaxing that you're still using the same things?
Actually, I never looked at it like that, but yeah, you're probably right. Many people they do some career changes or they change technologies and so. And it's not that I'm religious about Java, but Java to me is a tool. It is a language to achieve something. So Java itself is not the goal, but I think that is also one of the reasons why I really use Java. And one of the key things that I remember from what James Gosling kept saying is Java is a blue-collar language. It is designed to help you to fix a problem, to do your job. It is not designed to be awarded as the most hip language or the most cool language. It won't get a prize for that. But the goal of Java is to help you to do whatever you want to do. And whatever you want to do can change, of course, but I think Java is always a good tool set, a good choice, a good way of programming.
Yeah, I tend to say that Java is boring, but boring in a good way. Java tomorrow will be able to do the same things as it's able to do today. Your system will not be broken tomorrow because you're running on Java and something changed somewhere by someone else.
Exactly, and that has advantages and disadvantages. So I think let's start with disadvantage. So many people, people on social media often complain that Java is slow in adopting new things. There are other languages that are much faster in using new paradigms, new concepts, and so. And then many people say, hey, why doesn't this exist yet in Java? But those things are often created in languages that are maybe 2 or 3 years old and that won't survive for 2 or 3 more years. Whereas in Java, which is now about 30 years old and still wants to survive for at least another 30 years, things are different. Yeah. And one of the reasons why Java is so old already, why Java survived for so long, is that the people developing the JDK are not under pressure to take the latest great technologies, but they have to make sure that whatever is out there and whatever is gonna be released is of top quality. So the quality is much more important than being hip, and that often gives Java a dull image because it won't be the first to come out with a new concept, but it will be the one when it comes out with a concept, with an implementation of a new concept. It's extremely well tested. It's been tried in many different use cases, and especially very, very intelligent people, very smart people. The OpenJDK team is an incredible team, and those really think about how can we maintain this in the next 5, 10, 15 years, because that is the key question. If you have a critical project and you do that in Java, you want that the project is still working in the future.
And it's by coincidence that already running projects for a long time, like Panama, seem to now be used or usable for AI development. So it's not that was designed to be able to do that, like the FFM API and the memory access and stuff like that, running things on the GPU. they all now come at the right time. They are almost finished, or they are finished, and they are now available to be used for exactly what a lot of developers need.
True. It's indeed good that they are available now, because otherwise there would be Java would have a delay and a gap on other languages. But the work on Panama started very long time ago, because today it's AI that's really interested in using more foreign functions and foreign memory. But in the past and in the future, it are different things. There's always been the need for integrating Java with native languages and native memory, and the fact that it was always possible in Java, but with a price, CPU, GPU, copy, and so all took time and so. But there's always been a need for doing this in Java, and if the JDK team had rushed this, and it would have been there in the JDK 5 years ago, then it would probably be less good than it is now. So we are really lucky that there was no rush in delivering Panama, and today it's some parts of Panama are in GA, and those are really first-class Java components and ready to use.
You're one of the main maintainers of JavaFX, of OpenJFX. I always get confused with the naming. You're also working on Java on mobile. Can you give a bit of details of what's happening there? Or what is the idea behind this?
Yeah, the idea behind it, I think it's something that I've been interested, and something that intrigued me about Java from day one is that the write runs run anywhere. As a developer, you don't really care about the underlying operating system, and it's more a burden than a help. You want to write your code, and then you want to run it on all people's devices. And well, especially I'm not a computer scientist. I come from I'm an engineer, and typically engineers just want things to work.
Fix problems.
And they want to fix problems, and it has to work. And then if you write something and it works on someone's Linux machine, but then someone comes with a Windows and says, hey, this doesn't work for me, then that's a bummer. So the cross-platform and the write once run anywhere of Java is always extremely important. And even in the beginning, in the early days of Java, one of the goals was to make sure that Java works on the Internet of Things, and on on network devices, on mobile phones, PDAs, set-top boxes, and so that's always been one of the goals, because there are so many people using those devices. So as a Java developer, you want your applications to work on those as well. Now, Java took a detour into enterprise, which turned out to be extremely lucrative from a financial point. That's where the money is, and follow the money, then you know where the investments are going. It's in the cloud and the server development. And I can understand that, but there is no technical reasons. There's no technical reason why Java cannot work on consumer devices, mobile, desktops, laptops, set-top boxes, Raspberry Pis, and other kinds of embedded devices. So technically, there's really no reason. And for developers, it would be really helpful if their applications work on not only in the cloud, not only on servers, but also on those devices that everyone can use. Yeah. Cheap devices where hobbyists can create great things with. So that is not a financial decision, because if you want to program for the money, then yeah, you go to the cloud and the server. But from a technical point, mobile embedded is really a home market for Java. So I want to make sure that Java runs first class on those devices as well. And that means, first of all, we need to make sure that the OpenJDK runs on mobile devices. And second, there needs to be a good UI toolkit for developers to create compelling user interfaces for those devices. And that means that we both need OpenJDK Mobile, which is the JDK for mobile devices, and OpenJFX, which is the repository where we specify the JavaFX specification and implementation. So that's why I'm working on both those projects.
As you brought Java to Linux one day, I can imagine that it's reachable, this goal, that you have a clear idea how this can be done?
Well, from a technical point, it's definitely reachable. I have to admit that when when I started with Java on Linux, I didn't know why I was starting. It's just I had an end goal, which is I want to run this application. By the way, I had a Spark station running Linux, which made it even more complex. But in the end, it worked, and I had much less experience. I basically had no experience with Java at the time because, well, it was new, and I didn't know how hard it would be. Now, with Java on mobile, we've been working on this for a long time already, same as with JavaFX, and the difficulty is not the technical part. Writing the code is actually easy, but the difficulties are in the tooling. For example, take iOS. If you want to create an application and deploy it to the iPhone, you need to obey all the Apple rules. You need to upload it to the App Store. You need to sign it, notarization, and all those things. And those are things that Apple developers know very well, or learned to deal with it. But for Java developers, it's really boring and confusing. So the tools and extremely difficult, and it often changes between versions. So the hard part is not really the technical development, but everything around the whole dealing with the Apple ecosystem and so. And the other hard thing is the marketing of it, because Java is positioned so clearly as a server-side cloud enterprise language that it's really difficult to explain. Ironically, to explain that Java also works on the devices it was actually created for.
Yeah, and that's my pet project, is using Java in all other cases, not enterprise, but in home automation, on Raspberry Pis, and creating fun applications just as a pet project, where it's a perfect tool.
Yeah, and it works, right? Yeah. And so how comes there's not more attention for it? Because it works. Yeah. So many people should be using it, but it's still hard to get on the radar, because I often talk to people and then I show them hello JavaFX world on an iPhone, and I say, oh, I didn't know that you can do that. I've been doing this for 10 years now maybe, but people don't realize it. And granted, it's also not that polished as I wanted it to be. There's no cool website. There's no DevRels talking about it, because there's not really, I don't really have, to be honest, a business model behind it. We have the technology, but and that's cool, but we often need more.
And indeed, OpenJDK, OpenJFX, it's an open source project. Luckily, we have companies behind it who earn money out of it, like Oracle, Azure, Gluon, because you offer services and support and additional tools. Without those, it wouldn't be possible to maintain the open source and keep it evolving, I guess.
Right. Yeah, and that's a bit the difficult model, but it's the
only model?
I don't think it's the only model, and I don't think it's the best model. And actually, you already described a number of models, because every company has a different approach. Oracle has a different approach than, for example, Azure. Both try to sell LTS support for the JDK, but Azure probably also provides more time and material projects and so, where Oracle is more into the licensing. But in both cases, it's actually, you need a way to pay the engineers, the developers that are working on the OpenJDK and the new features and the maintainability, and so that costs money. But in the IT industry, people take it for granted that there's a JDK, and it's like almost nobody wants to pay for it. But the companies realize that that this costs money. So where does the money come from? And then you have Azure, Belsoft, Oracle, Amazon, Microsoft. They all have their own models to fund the development. And I think it's a bit a pity that there's no more direct funding, because the people developing the OpenJDK and OpenJFX and all the other open source technologies, if they can be rewarded more directly instead of having to rely on a different department in their company which provides the revenues, and then they are actually the cost. And that's I don't think that's how it should be. But honestly not the person who can solve this problem. I try to solve some technical things, but that's it.
And you not only solve the technical things, you also push them forward, like with OpenJDK on mobile. So that's great. What could the community do to help here?
I think there are a number of things. So first of all, the community being aware of that this happens and recognizing that this is an important thing and a useful thing, that's already really helpful, because the more people that say, oh yeah, Java on mobile is relevant, and JavaFX on the Raspberry Pi, it works and it's cool.
It works. I can confirm.
Definitely, and it really helps that you say that and that you show it and that you write about it in a book and so spreading the word is an easy thing that doesn't cost too much time, and it's really helpful because it helped the image of Java being more than just a server-side cloud language. It shows that Java is really suited for those kinds of things. And then, of course, if you have, if you want to try out things and give feedback, that's always useful as well. And we're fortunate to have most of the Java on mobile and JavaFX users are very friendly, and they do understand that we don't have the same resources, the same amount of resources. We don't have the funding to work on Java on mobile and on the client that companies who work on Java on the server side have. So we can't at this moment have the same speed, the same level of, well, we try to have the same level of quality. That's something that I don't want to give in. But that's also why we move forward slower, because we don't have the same resources. So we do appreciate all the feedback, and we also do appreciate that developers understand that we don't have the same funding as the server cloud companies.
Stephen Chen. I work at Neo4j, which is a graph database company.
The thickest book on my bookshelf is from you. It's about JavaFX. How much are you still involved with that?
So we just updated the JavaFX book for Java 23, I believe. Maybe Java 24 is out now, but I mean we did
25, yeah.
25. we did update it fairly frequently, and it has become the definitive guide for building JavaFX applications and in general client applications in Java. It's kind of funny because we're here at the Devoxx conference, and the reason why I started coming to Devoxx is because I wrote the Pro JavaFX book together with Jim Weaver, Dean Iverson, Wei Chigao, and Johan Vos. And then we're here, 20 years later. And not only is this still the definitive book on JavaFX, this is still the definitive technology conference in Europe. So it's aged well.
It aged well. Did JavaFX age well? In your opinion?
So it's basically become the way you build client applications in Java, right? I mean, nobody's using AWT. Like occasionally you use Swing for certain sorts of applications, but if you're doing a modern application, you're using JavaFX. Yeah. And I think you could argue that a lot of people are using other languages or frameworks for doing UI development, but if you already have a Java application and you're doing something cross-platform, it's just a really good solution. And then Johan Vos, who I mentioned, actually has a mobile and embedded version of Java as well with his company Gluon. So I think, again, it gives you the best technology for doing that cross-platform development for UIs.
Okay. I also have to thank you for having a house full of 3D printers and Raspberry Pis, because you also inspired your daughter to become an author and a Java user. How do you look at her book? Are you a bit proud?
Yeah. So I think the reason why I'm here at Devoxx is obviously because I'm going to give a presentation. This is a great conference, but really I'm the +1 for my daughter. She's giving the keynote, right?
How does that feel?
Stefan's like, okay, your daughter's coming. You can give a talk too, Steve. So it's nice to see the next generation coming up and being very successful with technology, doing amazing things, and I think we need more female role models in our industry where people can look up to aspiring developers and folks who are kind of leading technology and driving more things. So now she's the content chair for CNCF Kids Day. She's writing books on education and teaching people how to raise their kids and raise coders. And also a new book series she's going to talk about tomorrow for AI first development. So kind of how the next generation should be thinking about learning technology together with AI tools.
I spoke at AI for Devs also with the daughter of Jonathan Villa, who's even younger, and how she looks at AI. And I think for those young people, it's really a changing time with AI and how it influences how they go to school, how they learn, also how they learn for a job. So I think also for them, this will be a major shift.
Yeah, and schools aren't quite ready today, right? I mean, they look at AI as a tool which has the potential to be used for cheating or bypassing the regular curriculum, but they just need to embrace it. It's how kids are learning, it's what the technology they're using on their own time, and it's something which we should be encouraging and then guiding them towards the right uses of AI where they learn.